Hi guys, Mr. Jaeger here, and welcome to a day that I sort of dread, every IAE. Luckily for us, it's fairly early on in today's general, which is of course Origin Jumpworks Day. Yes, it's that time of the year. Well, it's that day of the event where everyone's like, "Oh, hello, I'm a rich person who has a very fancy ship, and I've got all these wonderful, lovely lines. Look at my fancy thing. Look, I've got my grandparents' ship. Yes, fuck you." I'm not a huge fan of the Origin Jumpworks series, as you can tell. There is very few ships in the Origin Jumpworks line that I personally would go, ooh. I think I can actually count on one hand, with barely two fingers, the amount of ships that I actually want to get from Origin Jumpworks. But regardless of my personal feelings, we will be looking into the ships of the Origin Jumpworks, and I think as time goes by, they are slowly but surely bringing themselves into the limelight and bringing themselves into a better light than just I'm a rich asshole who decides he wants to use his parents' money to get ahead in life. So, usual affair. I think this time we're going to go from the main hall, and then we're going to have a little old crack at the other rooms. So, without further ado, let's get started. So, we begin our journey not with the big fucker in the room, but instead the ugly fucker in the room. This is the 600i Touring. This, to add a little bit of history to Star Citizen, is, well, I think it was one of the first major ships that they went with Origin Jumpworks. Like, this was the largest ship in the game at one point, and I believe this was done before the introduction of the... I want to say it was done before the introduction of the Starfarer, which was done by Misk, which we'll be seeing in a few. This ship was not very well... Like, this was basically one of the first major forays into large ships for Origin Jumpworks. Up until then, you only had such ships as the 300 series being a main sort of stay of Origin Jumpworks, and as you can see, while it is very opulent, and it definitely portrays a scale and a sense of, ooh, very flashy, and for some reason a bit smoky. I guess they've got the smoke. I guess the smoke detectors ain't working here. So, no, it's very, very snaz, very, opulent, shall we say. And they definitely did some things intriguing, like, for example, there's this little... Well, they did some interesting decisions, such as this viewing port that you can look down onto a planet for, because why wouldn't you? But there's a lot of dead space in this room, alongside a sort of a... I mean, to be fair, I'm not an architectural person, so a lot of people criticize this ship's internals for being a bit useless. I mean, to be fair, there are a couple of stupid locations. For example, there's a stairway that leads upstairs, and an elevator, which is fine, I guess. But then you have to go all the way over to here to get to, what, the crew quarters, the passenger quarters? Are they, is this something? And then you've got like this little room here where you've got a limited amount of crew. So is this just for the crew? Maybe, but then the crew have got to go through so much crap. They do get a nice shower though, I'll give them that. Like there are things about this ship that I cannot speak to you architecturally, because I'm not an architect, but there are, like, there were issues, and there are issues that, of course, don't really, like, there are some issues that make the ship difficult to sort of comprehend or logically think. For example, where's the privacy in the rooms? It just, there's lots of dead space. It was just big and wide and open for the sake of being big, wide, and open. And, yep, I know, all you dirty perverts out there, shut up. But the sort of main, I don't know, for me, I can't really say too much about this ship, because it's like, it's big, it's wide, it's open, and it is currently, in terms of news, it is currently being worked on. They are currently working on a redo, sort of like a re-interior sort of thing. They're basically gutting the entire interior and reworking it, so that way we can sort of see the latest sort of stuff. But I'll be honest with you, I look at this ship, and I honestly, just everywhere I go, it reminds me of why I didn't like Origin Jumpworks to begin with. It's just flashiness for the sake of flashiness. The cockpit is just boasting. You know, it looks horrible, doesn't look that very practicable. Sure, your visual range is incredible because of all the uninterrupted glass, but when you get into the pilot seat, it's just... I don't know. Again, I realize that some of you may sort of say, oh, you're just saying that because you don't like Orange and Jumpworks. And it's like, well, I couldn't deny that there is a... Oh, shut up, you laugh. Honestly, it's like you can drop the softness. It's like you're a ship, not a fucking Prunsigo. Like, the thing is, this particular ship displays what is the representation of old Origin Jumpworks. Flashiness for the sake of flashiness. Do you have, you know, what is the purpose of these floors? No idea. Looks fancy. What is the purpose of the ship having an entranceway? What is the purpose of having these wide open spaces, which then cramps all the people into these rooms? You know, we don't know. It's fancy. Throw it in. Why is it that the guests are in the upper area, but the actual master person has to be sent downstairs to the naughty room, which also is where the elevator is to get on? I don't know. It's fancy. You know, like, if you want to gain access to the back, you have to wait for these fucking doors. Which just... Is that a docking room? Oh, yeah, this is just a random, like, weapons locker and everything else is there. Because, you know, of course, why not? And then, of course, you've got this room. Again, big, open, fucking drum area. Why do you have it here? I don't know. You've got these really badly designed seats. Because I'm not going to lie, that is really bad. They're so far away. You'd have to literally be climbing onto the fucking bar stool in order to get to them. And then you've got this, like... table where there's no fucking chairs. So, congratulations, you Muppets. Where the fuck are your chairs? You're going to have everyone sitting cross-legged, staring across the fucking side of the thing? I don't think so. Then you've got this really fucking obnoxious chair that some 27-year-old asshole who's never worked a day in his life is going to sit there and acting all triumphant whilst everyone just stares at the fact that he's got his flies open. Then you've got this completely random utilitarian room just here. And it's like, why the fuck would you have this here? Oh, and then, of course, you've got the room with the television that looks like it was designed in the fucking 90s. You know, back when they thought, hey, check it out, I could build my TV into my wall. Yeah, great job, numbnuts. Now if you want to fix your TV, you're fucked. And then you've got this weird sort of utilitarian paneling here, because why? You know, if damaged, break glass, you know, just... And then, of course, you've got all this fucking giant open kitchen thing with fuck all. And you've got like an iPad for a fucking dinner plate because that's how rich you are. You just use them for dinner plates. And then, of course, you've got your arrangement of different, like, herbals or whatever. And then, of course, where's the protein shakes? They removed the protein shakes. Oh, my God. They've just got normal drinks of liquids and whatnot now. That's... Oh no, there it is. There it is. There's the symbol of you being a cunt. The only room I like in this entire fucking establishment is this room. If you took everything else and just had this room, I would like it. With the exception of the pieces. Why would you make them all white? Congratulations, you've now won the game. Whoever if you're playing pool, then whoever takes the first shot wins the game, because they're going to get all the other shit in. Make it European pool, and you're done. I love it, though. It does look nice. This is the only thing I like, though. To be fair, I'm also kind of curious. How the fuck does this work when... I don't think it would fit. No, it wouldn't fit. Legit, that wouldn't fit. Look. Look at the distance in the shadowing. Yeah, that wouldn't fit. You can see the distance between... Yeah, it wouldn't fit. This pool table wouldn't work. It doesn't work. It doesn't fucking work. That's really disappointed me there. And what the fuck's this chair for? Random sad shit on the side there. No, can't really enjoy this. Like, fuck off. You can tell I just don't like this ship. Like, I am looking forward to the rework, primarily to see if anyone at CIG learnt their lesson when it came to this thing. Like, this ship was universally sort of... I don't know if it was... I couldn't say if it was panned. I wasn't playing with Star Citizen when this ship came out. What I can say is that when this ship did come out, so what I can say is that when I came into this game, I never saw this ship. I don't think I've ever seen any player fly this ship. Like, okay, that's probably not the fair statement. Maybe once or twice over the last year, I've seen a player with this ship. But that's about it. Like, there is no distinctive thing that makes me go, oh, this ship is amazing. It's like, no, it's actually quite crap. Like, there's, again, the rework is supposedly meant to be fixing a large amount of problems for that. However, I am skeptical. Is it not going to open? Oh, really? Is it not going to let me... Am I stuck? Have I been insulting it too much that this game is that it just can't fathom anything now, and it's just like, that's it, I'm not opening the doors. Because the lift works, like, it functions, but... the doors won't open. Help me, I'm stuck. I just need some other... I need a sacrifice to come onto the ship. So I may escape. Oh! Oh, someone sacrificed themselves. Right, quick, run. So, as we enter in towards the stern of the 890 Jump, this thing is, well, currently listed as the largest ship for flyable ship in the game. And to anyone who just wants to collect things, I think this is the most expensive ship in the game with in-game currency. So, yes, I could imagine there is a pretty high definition of, like, yeah, like, there's a fair amount of pizzazz when it comes to this ship. This is, of course, the Mega Yacht 890 Jump. One of the... I remember when this ship came out, it was ridiculous. Like, this ship was absolutely mind-bogglingly large. Like, holy shit on a stick. And as you can see, yeah... hang on, let me just zoom out a bit whilst my character... Right, let me just zoom out a bit more. Oh, God. Right, careful, careful. Right. So, if we zoom out a bit... Why is it not letting me escape out this door? There we go. So, yeah, if we zoom out, you can see just how large this ship is. It is kind of ridiculous how big this ship is. And, yeah, it is pretty hench. It's even got missions made up after it where you have to clear it out. It's like, it's big enough to do a small CQC mission. That's how big it is. I mean, I've been to this thing numerous times, not as like a guest or a fancy pants person, but as someone trying to clear out a bunch of terrorists inside because of the A90 Jump mission. And as you're entering into the main sort of foyer area, you are greeted with a much better design flow. So, like, with the 600i, as much as I was rambling and ranting and raving, there was a purpose to that. That purpose being, this is what this is. This is, in comparison to the 600i, the 800i, the 890 Jump is actually taking into account the design schematics and applying them. You know, the lessons learnt from the 600i. We've got logically, we've got beautiful bedrooms with luscious bathrooms. While spacious, it's also practicable to a small degree. Updated visuals as well, because I noticed they have added a few extra flares here and there. You've got some beautiful greenery. They're greeted into this grand reception where there's chairs, there's sort of things to luxuriate around. The chairs here, also the stairs here have access to like the viewing gallery, so you have this very, very fancy pants design to it, and you have very similar designs as well. And as you make your way into like the undersection, there is the necessary evacuation pods, of course, as well as the lifts to the different sections. So if for example, the shit hit the fan and you needed to evacuate, guess what? You're safe. An escaped raft is there and available to you. Going into the sort of spa zone. So you have like a little swimming pool here with very fancy water, though no water physics, because we don't do water physics. But there's like a jacuzzi with like an underwater section into it. Not exactly a big fan of the underwater section, but you know what? This looks okay. And then, of course, you've got a sweat room. Where is it? Yeah, there you go. Sweat room and another sweat room. And you got a shower room as well. So, you know, if you're on a planet that's very cold, you want to sit in a very warm room to make yourself feel better. And then you've got a swimming pool, an actual full-on, full-fledged swimming pool, though I think they've gotten rid of the water. So, I'm used to coming in here with finding bodies due to the A90 jump combat mission. But you can see, there are a lot of fancy pants sort of... It's very artistically beautiful. I do like that room, if I had to be to be honest with you, but again, I wouldn't say it's a very logical room. No, it's not a very... I said, it's nice-ish. I like the two-tone. Obviously, you've got a little thing here. Skate raft engineering. If we go upstairs, you're greeted with the first floor, leading to a sort of bar. So... And once again, we have a couple more rooms. Not many rooms for people, I've found. Like, if you're going to be living on this ship, or if you're going to be staying on this ship, you have to be careful. And then there's some random toilets for the bathrooms. Don't know whether if there's like a female or male. They're kind of all the same, so I'm assuming that. Then you've got this massive bar/restaurant area, where you can sort of, everyone sits there and chills. And I do like the bar. This area is nice. Oh, okay, there's the entire the rest of the ship, GG. I do like this area. Like the restaurant, the bar, everything kind of works a lot well. Kind of works really well. I like this two-tone mirror as well, so you can have like an important meeting on this side, and then no one can see you doing anything on the other. So that's cool. That's pretty cool. And you do see that there are missiles on this ship. You know, the ship does have teeth. It just doesn't have many of them. You can see some fancy labels. To be fair, a little bit of history actually. When this ship was first out, like I think within the first week, maybe two, when I was part of the BSI, we were doing a sort of... It was more of a photo op than an actual op, but I was part of the first guard. I was part of the guard, so I was the guy with the P4 standing to attention here, looking over towards the entrance to stop griefers from coming in, because we were actually having the first ever in-game, in-clan meeting between two various clans. Again, it was a photo op. It was more like, look what we can do. But, so we can going into the back area for the food prep room. And then, of course, the void. But no, so I was part of the guys who were watching this area. And it was cool. Like, it was a big ship. I was still getting my bearings on Star Citizen. And it was such a... like, it was so big. I'd never seen a ship so big before. And it was so, like... It was all kind of encompassing in terms of, like, the scale of everything. And it was a very impressive ship to look into for the first time. And as you can see, the main appeal of this ship is, of course, the giant window, which really fucks you over if you're trying to defend this room, because everyone can look in and spot your defensive positioning. It's rather hilarious, really. Like, I remember doing the mission clearing thing for the first time, and there used to not be a timer when you were approaching, so you could easily just be like, fly your ship over the top, look inside, and you could see all the baddies sort of setting themselves up, like, right, we're going to ambush them, they're not going to see it, and then you just, none of them looked up and were like, oh, hello. As we enter into the bridge of this rather wonderful vessel. This bridge, again, you see what I mean? There's a practical sense to it. You've got panels with information, you've got a radar in the center, which also tells you where everything is, and now I'm in the center. You've got more panels with information, you've got cabin, co-crew, co-pilots and everything. So you have practicality. Things are being done in a proper way, and you do get a very nice view. Unlike the fucking 600, which is just, oh, look at me. You know, I'm flashy for being flashy. And this is a very good view. Ugh. Still irritates me when you hear that voice. I really wish you could customize the voice in this game. Just, can you just imagine imagine the mods you'd get from this game. Just get an Australian like, I can't, the ship's ready. Powering systems online. My God, Steve Owen. Crikey, you got yourself some Vandal. Let's get a little closer. Your power system's on fried. You got no shields. Oh, he's a doozy. Look at that Sheila. That planet, the sun's gone supernova. Better get out quick. I want a Steve Irwin AI generated voice for the ships now. Anyway, getting distracted. So, this is the captain's quarters or the owner's quarters, depending on how you want to see. And I will admit, I really like this room. I especially like this room when you're clearing out over a planet and you get the timing right on the day, and you just see the sun, cruising over the horizon, so you can just see the sunrise on there. That is really cool, and I'm not gonna lie. That's something I do appreciate quite a lot of. I also respect the man's drinking. Blackbeard. Oh, I can zoom in really quickly. Atlas, Nerview, Square. Okay. Distilled and bottled at Nyx. Distilled gin. Platinum. Bottled on Terra. 46%. Shit. Not so strong. Just curious about the alcohol now. 55%. Tries cordial. Hooch. And you go into here. 48% alcohol, single malt whiskey. Alcohol 62, Tavarin Ghosts. Jesus Christ, Tavarin Rye. Okay. Small batch Sky, Dolan New Irish Whiskey. That looks like an old bottle. 26.59. So yeah, that's aged a bit, and you've got some fancy pants stuff here. But no, you've got and so for some reason you have a model of the ship that you're in. It's like, for fuck's sake, you arrogant sod. And once again, Lawmaker's Guide to the Galaxy. Love it. But the thing is, this particular ship is amazing because you can have, for example, a meeting room where you can talk about how amazing your ship is, or like what businesses you can have. Like, the level of role-play ability in this game is fantastic, and this ship definitely does add to that. You also have a more casual room where you're talking again, and again, for some reason, you'd have the ship, the image of the ship that you're on, because why not? And then finally you are greeted with your master bedroom, and holy shit, you have a good TV. And again, it's practicable, it's not wedged into the fucking side, and you have the same bathroom as the other guest, which I was a little bit surprised at, considering how much of a big thing that would be. And then we make our way downstairs. Doop-de-doo, doop-de-doo. This is a very big ship. Run, 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 run. Banana phone. Right. Let's have a look, see. Yes. So as you make your way downstairs, you go to the right, and we enter into... I tend to want to go in this room just because the lifts are a little bit tricksy. There you go. Right, let me just heal myself. Do I not have... Oh, I need to buy some meds. Okay, that's fine. I can manage that. So, you are entering into the cargo bay, which, as you can see, it's very, very large, and it does have quite a lot of room. You could easily park a Nova Tonk, a Scorpius... Not Scorpius, not Scorpius. Oh, that's silly. A Ballista Centurion, a Spartan, well, obviously the ROCDS and the ROC. You've got a nice number of things you can purchase. There's a nice number of things you can basically drive it into. It's a very decent cargo bay. And if you go into the engine rooms, they're same on both sides, you get treated to a pretty nice view of whatever the hell that is. I don't have any idea what that is, but it's the engine that keeps it... Well, it's the power system that keeps the engine going, which is hilarious. Well, hilarious, which is awesome. You've also got the generator, or the gravity generator, or the washing machine of survivability. Now I've just got the image of it just being a washing machine. And as you are... And one of the cool things about this underground area is you actually have a circle routine here. So over here we have access to the gun rack. So this is generally sort of the lower decks. This is for the service crew, maybe the guys and girls who help defend the ship. There's this really long corridor, which is a bit... Not entirely sure. There is a med bay. Oh, actually, good point. Maybe I might be able to get fixed up on this thing. I don't know if it will. Don't know if it will work, mind you, but you never know. It might work. Oh yeah, hello. Yeah, medical care. No injuries. Detectment. Yeah, it is. Nice. Medication. Oh, nice. You have all the different drugs and everything. And this is also one of the very few places where you can actually set your imprint up. As you can see. So you can, if you want, get yourself imprinted and changed. I don't know if this is going to be a thing going into like the far future, but this is probably one of the first major reasons why you'd want to have an 890 jump. It is quintessentially a big vessel for that. Well, that is quite a useful feature. So as we make our way onto here. So this is kind of a waiting lounge. So there is this area here, as I mentioned it's for like cruise service personnel, which it kind of is, but it also is kind of a thoroughfare because, for example, if you do get, as we go into this next room, it's a very nice waiting room, we are introduced to the hangar through this airlock. So the airlock comes in, and oh, hello. And normally there's a thing at the top there, but as you can see, there's a giant hole in the middle. Let's call the elevator down. So let's open this up a bit. So as you can see, you get an entire pad. So if you're getting people coming in, getting supplies coming in, or if you're getting new staff coming in, you can get this to come down and you'll be able to enjoy it. And if we open up the hangar doors, he says, open the hangar doors. Come on. Well, these doors do in fact open. And you can get onto the ship. Just get off in case that guy activates the fucking lift. And I'm like, and now you're flat. So you get to go, and over to here is the entrance to the guns. So the main defenses of the 890 jump are basically, I go and Google this on Hercule, which once again, actually I need to make sure I got the website linked for that as well. Oh god, why is Origin such an awkward thing to find? Ah, there it is, good. Yeah, so in terms of defense, is there a reason why you're not working? Ah, yes. Yeah, there's the old style lift system as well. So you get the turret access, which the turret is a couple of... Really? Oh no, those are remote turrets. Okay. Yeah, so the man dubber is size 4 M6As, which obviously quite a significant amount of firepower. I mean, the thing is, it's not really... The thing is, with a lot of these ships, they're not really combat focused. So naturally, there's not going to be much incentive to really be talking about their weapons or their stats, because you're not flying an Origin Jumpworks for the stats, though, are you? If anything, you're doing it for the lols. You're doing this for the luxury. If you're seriously flying the Origin Jumpworks ship, with the exception of maybe a couple, I don't know why you're doing it. And this is my favorite room of the 890 jump. We finally have European... I fucking love this. Even if it's not practicable to have this this thing here. I fucking love this thing, this pool room. I want to play pool in Star Citizen. I've been wanting this for years. This is probably my favorite room in the entire ship, because I would love to play pool. I do like playing pool. Playing pool is so much fun. But for some reason, they don't... Well, obviously the desync would be making it impossible, but just imagine for a few minutes. Just imagine playing pool. Just going to take a screenshot of that. Origin Jumpworks Day, the best room in the house. And as we go into this little section here, this is kind of for the crew quarters. So there's like toilets and showers and everything, and there's sort of like a little underground here. I mean, to be fair, I say this is the crew quarters. It could possibly be the second class staff area. Sorry, second class passenger area, because there are a lot of chairs and seats here, and there's a bit of a station here that's like tables, and there's a TV. Big open space with nothing in it. Don't know why. I hate open spaces like this. There's just no purpose. Put a table there, for fuck's sake. And then, of course, you've got the serving stations, and then you've got the kitchen with all of its fancy pants stuff, and the freezer. Before we wrap ourselves up, heading into the command bridge. Yeah, that's right. We actually have a secondary bridge in case the first bridge gets nuked, which is hilarious. And finally, we make our way back around to the back. So, 890 Jump, a big fucking ship, and obviously, if you haven't guessed already, is currently listed, and I think I may have even mentioned at the beginning of this, is currently listed as the largest ship flyable in game. And I honestly am looking forward to the day that we finally get rid of that bloody token, because, like, don't get me wrong, I appreciate that there's a fair amount of... I will say that you could argue, and probably rightly in some cases, that I am somewhat biased in my opinions because I'm not a huge fan of Origin Jumpworks. And again, you wouldn't be 100% wrong, but you'd be wrong enough for me to say that no, it's not just because I don't like Origin Jumpworks vessels, is because I want the ship that is going to be the largest flyable ship to have purpose involved. It needs to be there for a reason, not just to show off, but also to be part of something bigger. If it's a mining vessel, if it's a scrooping vessel, anything. Just don't make it a vessel. Just don't make it a vessel about being a yacht, because it ruins the whole. It just makes it pointless. So we begin to take things a bit more seriously with this next lineup of ships. This is, of course, the 100i. This is one of the starter vessels for Origin Jumpworks, and one of the first Origin Jumpworks ships I actually could, take seriously. It looks relatively good. It handles very, pretty good. And for some reason, the game is going absolutely ballistic. It's like, oh! Hit markers. But no, so this particular ship is pretty simple. The concept is, not too dissimilar to an Aurora. Not too dissimilar to the Aurora. You've got a little tiny cubby hole, which is enough for like 1.5 SCUs worth of cargo. Basically, you could store a box into here, and you have a bed, which similar to an Aurora. Very simplistic, very nice, pleasant little things on the side, and then of course you can hop into the pilot seat, which, if you want to actually enter into the pilot seat, that would be great. As we hop straight into here, and you are provided with a very nice looking view. Not a huge fan of the seat because it actually kind of blocks your vision a bit there, but apart from that, it's a very nice looking visuals, which is pretty pleasant, and you've got a decent array of MFDs, interactable console, I think, to a limited extent. What? Who the fuck radar locked me? Okay, interesting. But yes, so in terms of like small ship array, it's not too bad when it comes to its own sort of starter out. As the starter ships go, it's not too bad. Another thing which is surprising is the weapons that you have on it. So on the ship itself, bearing in mind this is just a bare bones basic bitch starter vessel, this is, it's not huge. This thing has gimbaled size 2 M4As, and bearing in mind these are gimbaled, so you could get these. You could get rid of the size 3 Vari pucks, and remove the gimbal, and then you can get size 3 fixed weapons on a ship this size. It also has a couple of size 2 Strike Force 2 missiles. What the fuck? This is slightly upper tier, but as a starter ship goes, it's not bad. It's very decent. Obviously, the issue with this, the only thing I would say that is an issue with this, obviously, ship, is that you're very limited as to what you can, you have an internal bay, but it's not a cargo bay. It's not the Avenger Titan style cargo bay, so you'd be very limited as to what you could take into the bay there. But apart from that, it's a pretty solid, reliable starter ship. So if you do like the look of it, I wouldn't blame you for owning one. I owned one, and that was the first ever Origin Jumpwork ship I ever willingly bought, which is ridiculous. Now, going over, there are multiple variants of this craft. The version that I had is the one after this, the 125A, but this version is also pretty damn good. Has the same armament, and the only main difference is that it has a large cargo bay into the back, increasing its cargo capacity up to 6 SCUs worth of cargo, and it's very, very pleasant in here. So as you can see, it has 4 SCUs worth of cargo, as you can see by this little open box thing, and it has the traditional Origin Jumpworks internal cargo style, where basically you plop the boxes down, and they sort of gravitationally gravitationally get pushed into this, which is, you know, it's not too bad, but hey ho, there you go. And it's, in terms of practicality, again, 6 SEUs worth of cargo, not bad. Again, it's a starter vessel, very limited in what it can do, but hey, 6 SCU means you can do a few more box missions, and its size, while it is a bit of a chunky boy with its very tiny wheels, you can at least sort of do something well with it. And of course, here's my version, or the version that I had, which is of course the 125A, which has a few more weapons on side, primarily in the form of 2 additional, so these particular ones had 125A. These ones had additional missiles, so you have 6 Strike Force 2 missiles, and additional, and of course the M4A with the ability to put it into a gimbal size 3. So overall, not a bad set of vehicles, and not a bad set of. Bearing in mind, for a starter ship, it's not bad. Oh, there you go. You know, you've got pretty powerful weapons with an assortment of decent missiles, and aesthetically wise, they look good. They look really good. And I think this particular ship, in my opinion, is the turning point for Origin Jumpworks. This is when they start going, let's stop being opulent, let's start being practical, and it only gets better from here. Continuing on in the correct direction, we head over to the 400i. So with the 100 series of ships, you can see sort of Origin Jumpworks finally finding their feet, finally understanding what makes a practicable ships, what makes this thing enjoyable. And then the 400i is the representation of finally realizing practicality can have style. And I won't lie, this ship I want. It's a ship I actually it's a ship I actively think kind of want it, because it looks really, really good. It's got a whole host of incredible features, as well as matching the compact but effective method for flying in for exploration in Star Citizen. So what exactly is this ship? It's basically a personalized yacht for opening, for going into slightly arduous zones. It has a sort of hollow or hover bike little it has a hover bike hangar here. So, no, hang on. No, thank you. So, there you go. And there is the hangar bay system, which then all locks into place, and it looks so nice doing it. And as you make your way into the ship, you're greeted by an airport on the side. You've got the you've got the gravity generator there, and there is the hangar bay. So if you think to yourself, did I remember my bike? You can look into that. That isn't some kind of weird mirror. That is actually a practicable room that you can hide in. There's also, when the ramp comes up, slight issue here is if you've not got the ramp up, or if you've got the ramp down, and you're thinking to yourself, hang on, I need to quickly get my weapons, and if you fuck up, you're like, wah, and you fall to your death, which is hilarious. But you have the suit options alongside the additional weapons. It's very, very cool. And then you enter into the different rooms. Not entirely sure. I think this is just like the component rooms, isn't it? Yeah, climate controls, the extra sort of room, like the extra temperature sort of room here is with all the components and everything. We have a little lift into the second floor, but we also have a ladder, which is, again, practicable, which is lovely. We have the indoor controls. Then we're entering into the cargo bay, And as you can see, once again, the spacing, the logic, the design philosophy, so much fucking better. You've got just enough room to probably put in a small vehicle. So I'd say a Cyclone, maybe a couple of Dragonflies, possibly a few Noxes. Ursa Rover, with these little side bits, I don't think you can fit it into it. The wheel arches might be a bit too wide, but I'd have to drive one in to be able to 100% realize that. But maybe an ROC, maybe. I don't know. It's just these arches here seem a little bit too thin for my liking, but it's possible. It could be done. It could be done. But anyway, let's take the ladder up, because I don't trust lifts. But you can see the little tiny lift here with its own little habitation deck and technical deck. You also have the ability to call the elevator as well, which is fantastic. And then, of course, you have the very nice-looking captain's, very nice-looking interior with what I think is an extremely sexy-looking cockpit display. Yeah, this is, I would say, this is where the refining process has reached a wonderful peak. This is where it's like, this is practical, this is logical, this is stylish, but with purpose. And for me, I love this. It's compact, it's decent, it looks nice. I think, to be fair, we probably did an IAE or an Invictus launch week where I actually got into one of these the first time, and you can hear my original opinions of this ship go from thinking, oh, it's just another 600i in the making, to, this is actually kind of good. Holy shit, this is a good-looking Origin Jumpwork ship. I love this room. I fucking love weirdly enough, I love the feeling of this room. It's all close and tight, and it's nice and pleasant. It feels nice and tucked in. And you've got wonderful views. Like on these little side panels here, you can have like a wonderful view outside. You've got your own captain's room there. There's like a little thing. There's also a room for the crew in addition to that. So you've got some steps for humanity, of course. And then, of course, you have the hallway, the galleyway, with its very nice looking, with its very nice looking habitation thing, but also very nice looking sort of view out the back of the ship. And it's this view here that made me think, oh, this ship is amazing. And you've got a preparation deck, and you've got a very nice tucked away little thing. Though, to be fair, if I ever was in this room, can you adjust the lighting in this room? I'm wanting to say yes. Like low light. Oh, I think maybe. Yes. Oh, please say yes. Oh, there's the warning lights. But there's the low light. Oh, that's wonderful. So you can have like a proper nice view. That's so cool. You can turn the lights on and everything. It's really awesome. It's beautiful. Yeah, it looks very nice. Very, very nice. Again, this is the reason why I want one. This is one of the only Origin Jumpwork ships that I am actually going nuts over. And in terms of weaponry, you also get a pretty decent array of defenses. You have a couple of remote turrets, primarily in the form of You've got a gimbaled size 3 CFF Panthers, which is pretty nice. I'll just get in the lift. Oh, the lift worked. Okay. But yeah, so you've got the CF337 Panthers, and you've got 2 remote turrets doing exactly the same thing. So you have a quad stack of there. And this is what it looks like if you're on the weapons, or if you're in this section. But then someone does that, and you're like, well, hang on a second. What's going to happen? Wah! You fall to your death. But no, in terms of, like, logical capacity, I just keep thinking about that cargo bay. It can't fit anything bigger than a TR. But no, this particular ship looks fantastic, and I love it, and I want it. And I can't believe I said that for an Origin Jumpwork ship, but it just oozes quality, but in a good way. It doesn't just ooze quality because it's rich. It oozes quality because it says, I'm here for a purpose, but I'm also going to look damn good doing it. And you know it to be true. And I do. And it's beautiful as a result. I can't lie. I mean... And you do have missiles as well. You have a bunch of... Let's see... 8, 16, 24... Oh, God. So you have 16 Strike Force 2 size 2s and 16 Marksman 1 size 1s. So in terms of missiles, not exactly amazing in terms of that. But again, this vessel is not designed for combat. This is an exploration ship. It's designed to try and get you out of danger, but not going charging into it. So each to their own for that one. But no, I'm definitely planning on getting this vehicle for this event. I think that's definitely going to be a thing. This will be in my garage at some point. So, as we look at an absolute beauty of a ship, let us look at the heritage for that ship. This is the 300i. For many years, this was the only representation of Origin Jumpworks in Star Citizen. And this was one of the sort of the few... I think this is designed as old as the Hornet design from Anvil, which... yeah, like... This, to be fair, this particular ship represents the old sort of design philosophy of fancy in Star Citizen terminology, and I do find that rather fascinating. Like when I see ships being designed nowadays by CIG versus ships being designed way back when in like 2012, 2013, like when they were showing these things off. These vessels represent such different ideologies of thought, and it's intriguing how we try and incorporate them now into more modern ships with all the old fancy pants technologies, one of which being behind us right now. But this particular ship is the kind of... I think it was like the Origin Jumpworks attempt at mimicking the Avenger Titan, because this was one of the other. This is like one of the alternative choices to the Avenger Titan. At one point, I remember people saying, "Oh yeah, you got to get an Origin Jumpworks, so much better than the Avenger Titan," and because like the Avenger Titan, like the main sort of comparison between the two is that this ship has, this, the main sort of arguments that the two would have is that, for example, this ship has a size 3 shredder, not gimbaled, nor is the size 3 M5A on either side also gimbaled, which is a bit of a disappointment. You also have a couple of Strike Force 2 missiles as well, a single Strike Force missiles as well. So this ship already is at a slight disadvantage when it comes to firepower means. Then the other thing that I wasn't a huge fan of when it came to it was the way the cargo bay works. Now there is a cargo bay in the sense that this is like the poop scoop, as what it is what I describe it as, or the litter box, depending on how much you want to be insulting. Is also well, you can put stuff into it and it does retract, and eventually you can put boxes into this thing and it can obviously transport a limited amount, but it's not a cargo bay. So it means that this ship is limited by what you can carry inside this little box thing here. Finally, you only have one real way to get into this ship, which is on the side, which, if I can remember where the hell the door is, which I think it's over here, there we go. It's this big fuck-off door here. And normally that door is meant to open up, but for some reason... There we go. There we go. So normally that door opens and you can sort of go inside, but then you're greeted with this fairly simplistic, plain, very Spartan, but still somewhat affluent internals with a fridge door that I think opens and closes, but it's not letting me do it because, well, of course it wouldn't. But no, you can see it's very simplistic. You have sheets, you have a bed, you have a TV, and you have a limited amount of you have a very nice view. I won't lie about that. Like being able to look up and like if you're in the bed and you're thinking to yourself, "Oh, this is a nice looking bed," or "Oh, I'm feeling tired. I've been doing all my time." There we go. So I'm just gonna rest up now. I'm gonna just be like, "Oh, let's go to bed. I'm gonna sleep." And then you get shunted, then you get punted off the side because you're being knocked over. Being able to see space from here looks pretty cool. And you've got interactable things. So it's like, hey mate, gonna be talking about this, whatever. So there is practicality involved. I didn't really. To be fair, that's new. You can actually use this internals, and you can see like there are things about this ship design that you can use that wasn't usable before, which is hilarious. And as you can see, it is a nice view. But it's not that practicable. And if you go to the internal, if you go into the cockpit, it's very, I mean, it's distinctive. Not going to lie about that. I think they have updated it a little bit. Yeah. It's like they've updated the internals a bit. They've used the new HUD layouts to try and make it work a little bit better. But you just, again, it just doesn't really. It just feels again like they've just what they've done is it's a bit like the equivalent of making new wings for the A10 Warthog. You know, it does the job, but it doesn't really make any. You know, it's not a new ship. It's not something that works because they've designed it well. It's just it was a design that they made years ago, and they haven't quite gotten around to retiring it yet. So, yeah. And the vessel that follows on, so the vessel that follows onto it is the 315P, which is the exploration version, which they've removed the main gun at the front and replaced it with a tractor beam. So that does add some value to it now, and they've replaced, but they still have the M5A guns on the side. So this vessel is designed more as an exploration vessel, and the internal bay for the internal side of this ship. It's the same interior, like legit, the same interior. Like my character steps up into it, you'll see. There you go, literally the same. Nope. Haha, you thought you can get me. But no, it is literally the same interior, which is kind of sad when you think about it. And that's what it means. This particular ship was designed when CIG were like saying, hey, let's make the same version, like make the different versions of the same ship, but don't really do that much with it. And it's that philosophy and design that makes the 300 always not as appealing to me, because it just feels like a ship that just is regurgitated every 5 seconds. And with the exception of like one version, maybe the Hail Hydra. Head over here. You know, going over to the other side, the only main difference is that this version here, the Racing Edition, same armament as the before, but if you hop into this ship, the 350R, you instead... Oh. If I can just get into the fucking... There we go. Now, the 350R is intriguing because obviously it's a much faster... Like, it's designed as a dedicated racing craft. So, no fancy internals, just a bed. It's very practical, and you have this very sleek and, industrialized interior with a very nice-looking pedal. And that's basically all it is. It's not a fast, sleek thing. It's literally designed to just be a racer. And that's about it, really. That's all you can really say on the subject. The only difference with this ship, of course, is that they've replaced the Shredder with a size 4 Revenant. I'm assuming it's a size 4. Let me quickly check the stats on that. But that does look like a size 4 Revenant, which is kind of terrifying. Yes, indeed. It is, in fact, the size 4 Revenant. But let's not forget, the size 4 Revenant, while it does 1,032 damage, only has 240 rounds maximum. Ah, yeah, about that. And it has the same M5A internals as well. So the only difference is that instead of having 2 size 2 missiles, you now have 4 size 2. Yes, you actually have 4 size 3 missiles, the Arrestor 3s to be exact. So in terms of like carrying capacity and everything else, it does have a little bit of a cargo bay inside. I think you can like press a button around here, and the internal bay does show itself up. But this particular version is a dedicated combat vessel, and it does fulfill its role, but really you just have a size 4 mounting, which is its main achievement. Its main wait, is there a bullet in there? Just stare down a barrel. Yeah, that's safe. But you can see the rifling actually. And this is the cool thing. It's not one of those stupid textures where they like shrink the fucking thing down to make it look like it's going in there. It's actually scrolling down into there. I can actually see the end of the barrel around here, which is hilarious. But no, as I was saying, this particular ship is, once again, just the more dominated combat version, or the more combat-orientated version. So if I got one of these ships, or if I was given one of these ships, the first thing I would do, take the Revenant out, put a 4D5B inside this slot here, because then I'd have a Gatling gun that looks terrifying and works. Which is pretty sad. But I said, the Origin Jumpworks, this is like, so for so many years, the Origin Jumpworks, this was it. This was the loot could show, and it wasn't really that impressive, to be honest with you. That's one of the reasons why I never liked them to begin with. They didn't really have that pizzazz. And it wasn't until the 100 and then 400i level of ships coming along that finally made me think, you know what, Origin Jumpworks might be something after all. So, as we make our way towards the holodecks, we're greeted by one of the most pointless vessels in the Origin Jumpworks lineup. This is, of course, the 85X. This is basically the I am traveling to the planet and I can't be bothered to get... this is like my own personal taxi cab sort of thing. And I think this was like back when people thought this would be a more common way for people to get into the verse. Maybe in the future we might get ships that allow you to get, to travel around, or to be kind of become mandatory to have a smaller vessel take you down to the main side of the planet. But there doesn't seem to be as much of a push for those now, so maybe that's something in the distance. It looks okay, nothing too fancy. It's one of those little cupboardy sort of things, but it doesn't really... Again, it's just a Vic that doesn't have any quantum to it. It has a couple of size 1s, mostly the Panther repeaters. I think there's like a size 2 Panther. This is like the Badger, the size 1 Panther, size 1, I can't remember the name of it, but it's those blasters. Very tiny weapons, very minor, nothing too fancy. I think, to be fair, those might be size 1s. I don't think you put a size 2 on those things. But going over to the other side of the coin, this is the only other vehicle in like Origin Jumpworks that looks halfway decent. This is, of course, the M50 Interceptor, a dedicated racer ship designed just to go fast and occasionally be a royal pain in the arse if you're playing against pirates. It has a couple of size 1 the M1 series of cannons, along with a couple of size 1 missiles. Or the infrared ones. I want to say marksman, but I'm not sure. Fuck it. I was going away from the Urkul, but I have to at least guess the... I had to at least figure out the Origin Jumpwork ones. But to be fair, the M50 isn't really designed for combat. It is primarily designed as a racing craft. And as you can tell by all the liveries and the giant engines in the background, and it does go fast. It is ridiculous how quickly this little bastard will go, and especially since when you're trying to get one of the little shits when you're trying to do like a combat mission, and this little motherfucker decides to show up with its weapon. Yeah, it's a couple of marksmans, as I thought. So M4A size 2 cannons. So not like pitiful small. I thought it was a couple of size 1s, but I was wrong. It was a couple of size 2s. So again, not a bad vessel, not really designed for combat. If you do hit one with anything larger than size 1, it will immediately start panting and breathing, and anything above size 3, it is instantly... So yeah, no, it's very, very limited in terms of what combat abilities it has, but it does have the ability to do some form of Dakar. Anyway, let's proceed now to the holodeck, and I fear we're about to see one of the most pointless ground vehicles to enter into the Star Citizen universe. This is, of course, what's it called? The G12A. What the fuck? Well, to be fair, the G12 series of ships. Basically, people were thinking, what if we made a Lamborghini into a moon buggy? And I immediately was like, why the fuck would you do that? So these particular vessels are designed initially with luxury in mind, as it is the Origin Jumpworks, but these particular vessels are designed to have anti-aircraft in mind, as you can see by all the missiles. They think they have like, what size? I'm going to go with like size 2s, maybe size 3 missiles. So it's designed to sort of go into a combat zone. And to be fair, in comparison to their troop-carrying counterparts, these may serve a role in terms of being hit and run. But there are far better vehicles for that, like the Storm AA, that has armor and is practical and actually looks good. Unlike this vehicle, which if you haven't spotted the glaring weak point, allow me to show you. It's the fucking giant wheels. If that's not saying, fucking shoot me now, I am the most useless piece of crap car in ever creation, I don't know what is. You must be blind or something. Like, they're just so useless. As a and as a stylish car for people to buy, sure. you go ahead. You enjoy that car. You're a Muppet, but hey, you're an Origin Jumpworks, you're an Origin Jumpworks fanboy. You clearly enjoy being called a Muppet. Like, I only like a couple of ships because they actually are practicable. This is old school Origin Jumpworks. Not practical and in any form, and just is all about showing off. Oh, I hate that thing. And what's this? Oh, yes. Now, don't let the large holographic projection fool you. This is a bike. And a very ugly one at that. This is the Origin X1. It's basically a hover bike that you would take into the... we've seen in trailers, actually, for the Origin 400i. This is the bike that you would get onto in order to fly around the zone. And apparently you get into this thing and it sort of flies into the distance. I think the front is here, maybe? And, like, the back is here, maybe? I'll be honest with you, it's ugly as shit. I really don't like this. It just looks revolting. It's like a half-mangled shell of a crab that's being dumped on the beach. You know? It just looks horrible. I hate it. I absolutely despise it. Ugh. It's like a crab corpse. So, yeah, thanks for making a crab corpse, Origin Jumpworks. You claim to be fashion and in design, but yet you've made the most ugly vessels possible, with the exception of the Xenos. Like, you give the Xeno ships a run for their money in terms of ugliness. Jesus Christ. But anyway, that is, thankfully, the end of our journey today. So, Origin Jumpworks, I've never really liked them. Like, there are as mentioned, there are like 2 ships, maybe 3 at most, that I would ever be considering wishing to own. The top of the list is the 400i. The second on the list, which I actually owned, is the 100i. And the third on that list is the Origin M50. That's it. No other ships in the Origin Jumpworks library could ever possibly make me want to go near them. However, hopefully the ship designer team for Origin Jumpworks continues to make ships for them, because they may end up giving me a 4th ship that I want to get into and actually fly around in. But it's unlikely. It is Origin Jumpworks. But still, the good news is that that's the last day of the shit vehicles. From now on, it's going to be smooth sailing, beautiful looking utility ships, and of course the first group coming afterwards is going to be Drake Interplanetary. Oh, it's going to be like a fucking rain shower of pleasure coming from those guys in comparison to that. And then, of course, best boys. The best boys are coming, and I'm not going to lie, I'm fucking looking forward to that. So I hope to catch you in the next episode, whereupon we'll be seeing the better ships, at least in my opinion. I'll see you then. This is Mr. Jaeger, signing out.